Okay, so I think we can start. So we are not so many participants today, maybe because of the season that we are currently in. That's a bit of a pity, but anyway. So our speaker for today will be Elisabeth Capon Garcia. I hope that's not too badly pronounced. And her presentation will be about sustainable data science with the Renku platform that I have not heard about yet. So I'm quite much looking forward to your presentation. So could you share your slides, please?
Thank you for the introduction, Matthias. Yes, first of all, thank you for the opportunity being here. Can you see my screen? Good.
Yes.
So basically, yeah, my name is Elisabeth Capon. I am the community manager for Renku. And yeah, the idea for the seminar today is first to do a brief introduction of what is Renku and how Renku supports reproducibility and sustainable data science. And in the second part, we will go through the actual platform, and I will share some highlights on the platform, share with you some demo project, and yeah, feel free in case you have any questions to interrupt me. And I hope we can have, since we are a small team, we can have a more interactive session. So, as you may have heard or read in the abstract, Renku has been developed by the Swiss Data Science Centers. The Swiss Data Science Center has been created or is in the interface of ETH, EPFL, and PSI. And it was created in 2017. And basically since then, there are several groups working there. And one of the working groups is the Renku team, whose aim is to develop a platform for projects that are centered around data. And the idea is that we can provide a platform, an open source platform that can be used by researchers and by individuals doing data science, where they can have code, data, and compute everything under the same roof. So this leads me to why we are presenting here today. So computational reproducibility has been a topic for many years already. I have taken this abstract from an article in Science in 2011 from Peng. And basically there he was sharing what is reproducible, some guidelines of reproducible research in computational science. And basically he mentions that the reproducibility standard is based on the fact that every computational experiment has a log on the steps done by the computer. And basically what it means is that the natural language description that we usually provide in the articles or in the publications is not usually enough in order to give details to make research reproducible when we are talking or we're talking about computational research. So publication only is not reproducible. And it goes from this spectrum where it is not reproducible to fully reproducible, the golden standard, where you have the linked and executable code and data. And this is basically where Renku aims to be, and Renku is basically, so as I was saying before, under the same platform, code, data, and environment. What is the main motivation behind Renku is that in data science, organizations and individuals generate knowledge about how to extract value from the data. And when we refer to organizations, we refer to different levels of users. So the individual researcher benefits from Renku on their day-to-day, so they can use Renku for doing their experimentations, for doing their research, for making it sustainable, meaning that they are working today and they can go back into the future, back to their code and to their data, and they can repeat their experiments and they can share it with the broader research community. The organization, so the labs, the groups, the principal investigators or institutes, they can they can benefit from Renku, making it available across their organization and making their data scientists collaborate on a specific project, or making across projects, reusing code or reusing data within the organization. And last but not least, our other type of users are the communities or the funding bodies or universities that can have better visibility and discoverability of the fundings they are providing. So they can, the ultimate goal is that given a data set, you can see what are all the projects that use a specific data set, or given a specific code, you can see how many forks your code has and when, in which other projects this code was used. And we also had in the title the word sustainable. So we want to build a sustainable system for data science, and this means that we need to consider the full life cycle, from the dataset creation to the model training or code creation to the deployment and benchmarking. So the idea behind Renku is to create this ecosystem where all the steps are self-documented. So behind the scenes, we have the best practices in software engineering that is related to the Git, the Git version control of your code. And the idea is that we can improve the individual's productivity, and we enable collaboration and enrich the results of a given community. So yeah, a bit more on the different keywords of our motivation. So organizations and individuals mean that we allow cross-collaboration in teams, we allow sharing, we allow cross-project. The knowledge tries to, the generation of knowledge tends to answer the how, the why, and what is related, who is related to what is connected. The extracting the value means the organizations create code, algorithms, pipelines, do tracking of their files. And last but not least, the most important thing, the core value is also the data. So there are files, buckets, descriptions, tags, metadata around the work that they are doing. So starting from very simple, so as and reinforcing the message, the Renku core is reusable data and shareable code. And for having these two together, we provide containerized environments and comprehensive workflows. Yeah. In case you have any questions, just don't doubt to interrupt me. So I go quickly through this part, and then we go to the demo. So Renku has two main parts. On the one hand side, the Renku lab, the interface that we will see today, is accessible via web browser, and basically provides a flexible and efficient compute infrastructure. And those who prefer to work locally on their own machine, they can access the Renku CLI. Basically, it's a package that you can install in your local compute, and you can access commands that make your life easier when creating your project. So it has shortcuts for some of the Git or version control commands. It allows you to create workflows so that you can keep track of the provenance of your code and how it is linked with your data. And basically, joining all these pieces, joining the versioned code, the reusable data, the comprehensive workflows, and the environments, we have the knowledge graphs. And the graphs, basically, it's an ontology that connects code, data sets, workflows, and computational environments, and creates metadata for making your projects discoverable, reusable, and shareable. And for this, I want to highlight here that it depends on the user. Even though Renku is an open source platform, the user can decide whether their projects are public, are internal for only those users that are registered in Renku, or they are private for their collaborators. So we do not enforce the visibility of the projects for the users of the Renku platform. Going back to what it is and what we and where we want to go, I will share with you later the link to our roadmap. But basically, we are currently facing how to say, revisiting of many of the concepts that we have in Renku. And you will see when I go through each of these pieces, you will see why I am saying that. So as of now, Renku provides workflows, very simple ways of creating workflows. And the idea is that we will provide the possibility to track the data use in almost any workflow system. There are workflow systems that already they are available. They are more complex for more advanced users. And the idea is that we can also integrate them into the Renku platform. Regarding shareable code, as of now, whenever you create a Renku project, a GitLab repository linked within the Renku structure is created for your project, and there is where your code is saved and versioned. We are planning for this 2024 to open it and to allow any users to define where the repo is hosted. It can be GitLab, not our GitLab, but if they want the GitLab from Renku, it's not a problem, but they can decide which GitLab repository they want to use, and if they want to create code in GitHub, they can eventually also create their code and store their code in GitHub. Regarding reusable data, as of now, the users can access GitLFS and S3 buckets for storing their data that will be used within Renku. We want to enable Azure Blob Storage, NFS, WebDApp, and other domain repository connectors. We will see this after the demo. And regarding the containerized environments, as of now, we have Docker plus GitLab as the main means to create the containerized environments. In the future, we want to have a flexible environment definition and using high-level standards for interoperability. So for the user, there is no vendor lock-in, there is no vendor or technology lock-in except from Git and Docker. And here we summarized what the Renku stack is. So basically, Renku allows the creation of projects relying on Python, Jupyter, on R, on MATLAB, on Julia, C++, or any other contributed compute environments that the user may need or may have. And of course, we rely on Kubernetes for deploying the Docker images. Yeah, a bit summarizing this introductory part. So Renku has been built for sustainable data science. So we want to build data sets and models with transparency in mind from the user perspective. We want to make it easy to collaborate and reproduce and reuse the code and the work that has been done. We also want to enable making it easier to showcase the research. As of now, it is already possible, and within SDSC, we have the so-called academic and innovation team who work in research with academic partners, and we have partners from the academia and with companies in the private sector, and they are currently using already Renku for showcasing apps and the results of their research. And last but not least, you can also use Renku for making your research public and open to the community. And we have also cases from users using Renku and sharing their link to their project in Renku during their publication, so that the reviewers and the readers can go to the repository and reproduce what they have done. At the end of the presentation, I have a couple of links that illustrate this last case. So for the demo, I have prepared, first of all, going to our GitLab, Renku Lab page, so that I can share with you the landing page, and then I will present you a bit how we create, how easy it is to create a project, and then I will share with you a link to a sample machine learning problem in Python that we have created for demoing purposes. Any question until here? I do a pause.
Yes, there are two questions by Daniel, who just sent me a direct message. Just let me read them to you.
Good.
So question number 1, will workflow manager like SnakeMake and Nextflow work in a Renku?
Yes, they can work together. They can work. You can pip install, you can install your packages without any problem. Or your software, yeah.
Okay, good. And the second question, in case of showcasing / publishing, will it be possible to assign a DOI to a specific workflow hosted on Renku?
Good question. This is something we have been ourselves within the Renku exploring during this 2023. And Renku is not thought for creating this DOI. So we rely on what our idea is that there are other parties that are specialized, usually universities, libraries, for creating DOIs and also publishing partners. So we will not create DOIs for the users, but we will make it easy to link your publication, or the idea is to make it easy linking your publication with Renku. And the other way around.
You could potentially link the Renku project to some Zenodo project,
Yes,
because
this is already done.
Zenodo can create DOIs.
Yeah.
So
as of now, we can import already from Zenodo data sets. So this has been this is already there. So via the API from Zenodo, we can import data sets. The other way around, we still have not that in our path. So in our roadmap is not there yet. But we envisage that next year we will have a more clear collaboration with Zenodo, because we will be part, we are planning to be part of a European initiative called Open Air, where they are part of the service providers, and we also want to be onboarded there as service provider in this European platform. And one possibility will be to enable this double channel, not only us reading data sets from them, but also being able to send codes and data sets and projects to their platform.
Okay, thank you. And I have another question, so sorry for not letting you continue. So is Renku really specialized on data science problems, or can you also use it? I don't know, I have some, say, I'm working on classical numerics. So I have some data, I have some code, but that's absolutely unrelated to machine learning or kind of these things. Would that also work?
Yes, of course. So basically, there are these 3 components: data, code, and compute resources. So these are like the 3 main blocks. It's not only data science. Data science is basically one of the main applications where we have seen also teaching. So some courses use also Renku. And I also imagine that traditional computation or algorithms also have an umbrella under Renku. So it's not only on data science, it's on any domain that needs compute.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And I got more questions, so sorry for that.
No problem. Then we go to the demo, so it's not a problem.
Okay, so there's one question in case I want to share sensitive, so in patient's data with an external collaborator, is it possible to create access tokens?
Not yet. The team is working on that. So we are now, it's on our roadmap for 2024 to create tokens and to shape also the possibility of access control for Renku. However, I need to say that as we envisage it now is that the control to the data sets is fully offboarded from Renku. And I will share with you an example when we go to the UI, so to the creation of one project. So basically there, the user creates the project and can link the project to some third part, to some S3 bucket that is not within Renku, is provided by a third party. Can be the university, the IT from the university, from the research team, or can be provisioned by the individual. So the access to this S3 bucket is managed by the owner of the S3 bucket, not from the project. So only those people with access to, and based on the permissions of that bucket, the people accessing the project will be able to see or not to see that data. So it's decoupled. The permits for the project in Renku are decoupled from the permissions to the buckets or the storage associated to the project.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Oh, there's another one. Maybe let's take this as the last question for now, and then maybe let us discuss your demo, and then we will maybe already see how it's working.
Good.
Okay, so last question: will the data for project need to be hosted on the premise of the respective researcher, or does Renku staging space for project data? If yes, how much? And does it cost something? And if no, how do you ensure the reproducibility of a showcased workflow?
Good. Thank you for the question. And please, Matthias, help me if I forget any point. As of now, so what Renku provides is Git LFS. What we have experienced in the last years is that Git LFS is not an efficient way of storing data, at least in our current setup. So that's why we recommend and we envisage the data storage as a cloud data access. And here we have as of now, we do not provide any S3 bucket or any cloud storage, but I only want to share with you, a Google Drive is already a cloud storage option. So almost everyone has a Google account. Google storage is a possible, Google Drive, sorry. So in principle, it's something that may not be so attractive for someone to contract it with us. I mean, Renku, we are not specialized in providing this. This we would outsource. As of now, we are working with Swiss infrastructure. So as of now, it's Switch, our infrastructure provider. And in case we had to provide this cloud storage, we would still partner with Switch. And in this case, for storage, we eventually foresee if we need to provide it. It's not clear for us, but depending on the size and the setup, we may eventually charge. But this is not, don't take it on a stone. We are having thoughts because many users are really asking, hey, can you provide this storage for us? It's not somehow budgeted. So we need to see what's our answer to that in the upcoming months.
Okay, so I think that answers the question.
Good.
And,
let me go maybe for the I go for the demo very quickly. I hope in 15 minutes, 20 minutes I can solve it, and then we go back to the questions so that the audience also grasps the essence of Renku. So this is the as I was saying, we have the UI and the platform itself where you can work in the cloud, or you can download the CLI. The CLI, we take it out for today. But for you to know, the link is here, renkulab.io. So I am here on the dep. So this is not for you to work because this is not not the real one for the users. But basically, whenever you go to the login, you will be able to log in with GitHub, or there are other options, usually with social media, linked to social media. And we usually do not allow to have individual accounts for being registered with Renku. So we ask either for institutional accounts via a trusted partner or GitHub or GitLab. So the reason behind this has been the large amount of spam that we have received. And with this option, we ensure that we get rid of those undesirable side effects of having it completely open. So whenever you log in, you will have a dashboard. You will log into a dashboard. Here it is quite full because I have my projects here. Here I can see projects with sessions running, pinned projects, so projects that are relevant for me, those that have been recently visited, and I have also, I can see here my data set. So here it's the dashboard where I can access the projects that are in my interest. I can also go for a search. I can also type some word here and I will be able to access public, in this case I have public, internal or private projects. And yeah, basically this is the two main functionalities. I can also say that I want to only see all that are owned by me, so I can filter on the available search. And let me go very quickly. Here we have on the top right side, we have 3, 4, 5 icons. The first one is for creating a project. So basically here we can create a project, and you see that whenever you create a project, we can have, so we need to provide a title, the namespace that is linked to me, a description that is optional, the visibility that we want to provide to the project. We can choose as an avatar, and we can decide which template we want to use. So we can say, okay, I will be programming in Python or in R, in our bioconductor that is specifically for some, it's R with some modifications, Julia, or the minimal Renku. Also the community, and we have some guidelines on how to create contributed templates for Renku. The community has contributed with templates for MATLAB, for Streamlit, and yeah, basically this is a bit the full set of templates that are available. And as I was saying, the user has the flexibility to create their own project or template based on their need. I will, for this case, I will create Python, and it's as easy as saying create project, and basically it will be now creating behind the scenes a GitLab repo for me, and setting up everything that I need for this project. So I have already a file structure here, and I have some tabs to navigate through. In this case, I have also my GitLab behind the scenes. So here I can see directly my GitLab repository linked to the project. And as I was saying before, I have by default Renku creates structure, some folders and some files that are there. So of course the Docker file image, but I have also the README, an environment requirements file where I can specify which are the requirements that I want to have in my image. So for example, I want to upload some packages in Python, I should write them in my requirements file. In this case, it is empty, but here I could eventually click on one of my files and see the lineage. Maybe we will do this with one of the projects. Here I can add a data set. I can either create a new data set, so it is as easy as giving a name, a Slack. The Slack is created basically from the name. I can give some words, and I can drag and drop some files here to create a data set, and I can put an image. In this case, I could eventually also import a data set based on the Renku dataset URL or Dataverse or the nodal dataset URL or DOI. In this case, we will not go through it because we don't have enough time for that. In this case, we also don't have workflows. We will see later in the other demo project. We don't have any running session. And here in the settings, we can change at any time the visibility of our project, update the description, the keywords, the avatar. We can also delete our project. We can also decide which are the session settings. So if we need for specific projects, we may need to have a minimum number of CPUs or a minimum amount of memory. We can define it here. And basically, whenever we start a session, it will choose the closest session to the specifications that we have here. And I can say also that if I have data in LFS, I can automatically fetch this data when I am starting my session. This one is for the Docker image. And then, as I was saying, we can have cloud storage. In case that we have an S3 bucket, we can assign a name and provide the credentials, the path to my endpoint, and I can add the storage to my project. So I don't need to set up the cloud storage at every time I am accessing Renku. This is saved for the project. Good. And then basically when I start, there are several options. We will go through start with options, but I want to mention here, we do not have time today to showcase, but we can connect via SSH to our session. This means that if you prefer to work in Visual Studio Code, PyCharm, Spider, or any other IDE where you feel comfortable working in, you can connect here. You can click here, and it creates you shares with you which are the steps that you need to follow locally in order to clone your repository and connect to your session remotely. So you need to, these are the commands. So of course you need to have installed in your computer the Renku CLI so that it understands this instruction. But in these 4 steps, you can easily connect from your favorite IDE to your Renku session. Yeah, basically when we start with options, I here would like to also to share with you some further information. By default, we have the public, let's say the public compute resources. So these are resources that are available for anyone that logs into Renku. And we have 4 different flavors, so different amount of CPUs, RAM, and yeah, the disk is fixed. And however, you may think that this is quite limiting for big projects or projects that have more needs in terms of data or compute power. And one of our most recent features from this 2023 has been the possibility to create, you can see here I am an admin, so I can see all the resource pools, we call them resource pools that we have within Renku. But for example, this the Parliament, since they contacted us and they told, okay, we need more RAM and more disk, can you create for us an instance? And this can be done on demand by the research group. So you can see for SDSC, for our internal team, we have even allocated some GPUs and much more RAM and CPUs. And yeah, basically this is something that in case someone is interested, you feel free to contact me, or I will give you later the details from other team members so that you can contact us. In the meantime, I don't know how long it will take because it's the first time I initialize the session. I prefer to navigate directly to one of my already existing projects. I will go to this project that is as of now paused. So as Renku, whenever you start a session in Renku, you will be able to access your data, your code, and you will be able to pause your session at any moment. So by pausing means that you, at any time, whenever you start a session, we create a workspace where all your work will be saved temporarily. Meaning until you do not delete this session, you will have this space where the work in progress is saved. So it is not infinite. So if you do not use a project for more than 2 weeks, as of now, we have set it to 2 weeks, all the work that is in this workspace or temporal workspace will be deleted, and only those changes that are really saved into your session, into your code, will be kept. So let me start with this case. Basically here I have, some notebooks. I created notebooks. I created some source codes in Python. I have here my data. This is my data set. I have created an output folder. I have some workflows. These are some workflows that I created in the it's not MLflow, it's not a Snakeflow, it's the default, very easy tool that we have. It's not compulsory, it makes life easier for those users who do not have a background in this type of tools. So yeah, this is what you provide. You can create Jupyter notebooks. So at any time here, I created it where I don't want to create it, but yeah, basically you can create notebooks. You can have access to your file system. You can create notebooks. And what else I wanted to say here? You can see my requirements. Here I have by default pandas, matplotlib, and scikit-learn. And maybe navigate to my this one. I will share with you the link, so in case after the session you want to go deeper into all these things that I don't have time to now for sharing with you, you can read it with enough time. But basically here you can see in a very simple notebook we summarize these 4 main features from Renku. How to set up your environment, how to work with data sets, coding, how you can code. You can either code with Jupyter notebooks or, and here we show the example for this ML regression model, and then coding in files. You can also do this. And finally, the workflows the workflow that I shared with you before is there. And just for the sake of time, I will go directly to the terminal. I discard this notebook. Let me go to the launcher. And here you can see I have the terminal, and I can let me run this command, Renku run, and I will run my workflow. So basically the idea is that it goes through different files. What is it? Let me see, CD, maybe I didn't do the proper CD work, Renku demo, okay. And then should Renku run? Okay, I don't know why it doesn't want to run. This happens, workflows, when quality workflow. Quality workflow should be.
I think you have underscores in the file
yes,
name.
Yeah. Thank you. Should be this. Thank you very much. It is that. So basically, behind the scenes, it executes the different steps. There, I could define. If we go, it's executing the steps. You can see we can define steps, which is the command line that it will execute, the scripts, the input, and the output data, so I can have full visibility of how I need to run my code through my files and folder system. Another nice feature from Renku is that if you just save the session with this button, or you just type Renku save, behind the scenes it will do a git commit with representative, or the most representative message that it will find from the changes that you have done, git commit and git push. So whenever you save your session, you save some time, and you don't need to be so familiar to do the git commands. If you prefer to do your own git commands, you can do. It's not incompatible. But if you want to save time and you have colleagues that are not so familiar with Git, Renku does it behind the scenes for you. So here maybe it's taking very long for my executing my file, but I think this is in a nutshell what I wanted to share with you. I will share in any case the link to the project so you can run it yourself with time and read all the steps. And yeah, I'm glad to go through questions and through any doubt that you may have.
Okay, thank you so much. So there's one more question, but I think that's already answered in the one that we've already had. So the question is Renku ready for sensitive data? Are there plans towards the processing of sensitive data? If not, if yes, how do you ensure the security of the sensitive data? And that's probably because, I mean, you can store the data outside, right?
Yes, exactly. So the data, you can store the data in your S3 bucket, so in your private storage. However, of course, if you want to do the compute in Renku, you need to upload at least temporarily the data into this storage or temporal storage. You can be sure, or the user is sure, that whenever they delete the session, all the data that is there is deleted. So this is something clear. And we have, as of now, we have projects with different research teams that have had or have posed this question regarding sensitive data. And yeah, we are working together on them, on solving that. So some use cases, for example, we have the use case with the Federal Office of Statistics. And as you may imagine, they decided that instead of they are handing out their day-to-day data of all of us. So they decided to have their own Renku instance. So basically, they have installed in their own infrastructure the Renku platform. So they have their own platform accessing their own internal data. So by end of this year, we will publish a video created by the FSO where they explain this partnership between us, SDSC in Renku, and themselves. And yeah, that's an extreme case. In our day-to-day, we don't need to go to that. We try to ensure the security of the data by other means.
Okay, thank you. Maybe if you have further questions, you could also ask directly. So I have a question. Is Renku the acronym, an acronym for something, or?
Yeah, the Renku is the name of it comes from Japanese. So Renku symbolizes a frog that goes with the travelers. Basically, in this case, the travelers are the data scientists or the scientists or researchers that do their travel, and somehow Renku, the frog, goes with you, is your partner in this trip for finding new things and so on. So
yeah, I see it.
I have still some additional things to share with you. I still think we have time, and if we don't have any other question, I will share our roadmap. I shared at the beginning that we wanted to make Renku more flexible in different means. And this is our top priority because we want to unlock the possibility to unlock and maybe make it easier, this connection to data repositories. So as of now, there is this Open Research Data Initiative very active in the latest years, months. And as you may imagine, this is only for the ETH domain, but we are not only concentrating on the ETH domain, we are also working with the EPFL and other institutions. But as you may understand, or as you may recognize in this chart, every institution has its own research data repository. So EMPA has OpenBase, WSL has MVDAT, the library, ATH library has the research collections. So basically, our idea is to integrate these data repositories with Renku. As of now, we have already some existing projects, and the idea is that the same way as you have seen that Renku, if you include the Zenodo or the Dataverse URL for importing data, the idea is that the researchers, scientists will be able to include the link to their data set in the research collection or in MVDAT, and they will automatically import the data into their project, if it's publicly available, of course. And the other way around, if any researcher wants to publish the data sets from their project, we have already had conversations, for example, with the research collections from ETH, where they would also accept a pipeline from Renku to publishing and making all the process easier for scientists and researchers. So this is something that is in our roadmap, and we will keep our Renku users informed on this topic. Another capability that we want to enable in this 2024 is the so-called hub pages. As you have seen previously in Renku, everything goes around their projects, but we are also thinking about organizations and institutes, research groups, that they want to have their hub pages where they can connect all the projects and showcase all the projects that they are doing for showcasing with the open community. So the idea is that we will provide this space within hub pages. Think as a LinkedIn page for showcasing your research or your teaching, or basically it's a place for curated projects to share some metrics, share some data on connections on projects that are linked to the project. Third topic we want to make it easier is the apps. So as of now, apps are possible in Renku, but they are hard. Many users complain that templates don't work for the apps, that they don't have templates for our Shiny. And basically the idea is that we want to make it easier for the users to create and share the apps. It is possible. I was discussing yesterday with one colleague from SDSC, from the academic team. They were doing some demo with some customer, and they could share a Renku app, an app through Renku. So this is something that is doable, but not so straightforward in our plans to make it easier. And last but not least, this very long shot, I would say, shifting from the current Renku projects to the Renku native projects, so that we gain more flexibility, independence from the Git repository. We enable that the different elements so that a project can have any number of repositories. So a project can have 1, 2, or more repositories linked to the project, that they can decide the compute. So not only compute on our premises, but if you have your own compute resources, you can bring your own compute resources for connected to Renku. And this is basically where it goes in our journey for 2024. I have here more explanation. I can share. I don't want to repeat, because this is something I shared at the very beginning in some introductory slides. And yeah, I have some guidelines. So we have a discourse forum. We have our roadmap open. You can also contribute to Renku with our Renku design docs, proposing features that you may find interesting. And last but not least, I have here a link to a form. So it's completely anonymous, and I will copy the link here in the chat. So in case I very welcome your feedback for improving. For improving it, we don't save for improving both the sessions as today, so the seminars that we are sharing with the potential users or interested users, but also on features that we may consider in the future and I have not shared here. So thank you for your time. Do you have any question?
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. There's one more question from the chat. How is the hub pages different from simply using GitHub?
You can also use GitHub pages. The idea of the hub pages themselves is a place within Renku, because here GitHub you have only the code. Here you have your projects that can have the data, the compute, and the code. So the hub pages is more for compiling all those projects in a research group or in a team that are related. So for example, here we created our mockup for SDSC, and basically there the users can, or the research groups can share either internally or with the broader audience which are the projects they're working in, and the users can easily access those projects and launch a session, execute the code, link to the data if it is public. So it is richer than simply the GitHub because you have your compute linked there.
So in principle, I could also say, for example, say, okay, I have here a project and I have some PDF files and then the associated code to that, so I can have everything on one page if I want. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's possible. Yeah.
Cool. So there's one more question. How much does it cost to use the computational and storage resources? That's probably a good question.
So we have the free tier. The free tier is free. So up to 8 GB of RAM and 2 CPUs, it's free, no cost on the user. Then it depends on the amount of resources, but we are not a profit center here. So we are basically recovering what it costs to us to provision these services. We have some special rates as well. So we do not charge beyond what is reasonable. So we were comparing with other service providers, and our costs are similar to other tools that may be similar or even cheaper than them. So we are not a cost recovery center. It's more cost profit. So we are basically charging you what they charge to us to provision bigger instances. And if you want to know about it and you want more details, please contact us. You can also create resource pools. We also have flat rates for institutions. So for example, for University of Fribourg, we have a flat rate for them. They are using Renku for teaching. And here maybe Champak is around here. Basically, we also have agreements for specific setups. So it's not, it's not one model for everyone. We have the model for institutions and research, and we have, of course, for private institutions or for private companies. There, the cost is different as well. The cost model is different. We will make it public soon. So in our new landing page that I have, we have here, we have redesigned. Soon we will have our costing model, maybe beginning of next year, towards April or May. The costs will be also open. This year has been more a test with most of our users, and we have started this journey of giving broader and more compute resources. And yes, in our landing page, if you want to take to take it to the next level, you have here our contact. So you have here it leads you to the opening an email, and you can request us for that information.
So is it in principle possible to use Renku with like really a large amount of compute resources. So say
How
multiple,
much large is large?
like multiple GPUs, for example.
As of now, we have so GPUs are a bit tricky.
Yeah.
We have limited amount of GPUs. You may have seen that we have 2 GPUs provisioned for our internal resources and for our internal team. And we have more available, but it's not, how I would say. If someone wants GPUs, please contact us and we will see what we can do. I wouldn't say we can provision 100 GPUs, we will not. But if the number is more modest, below 10 should be feasible.
Okay, thank you. It's good to know. Are there further questions? I don't see any. I mean, we have also already quite a lot of questions. So that was a very informative talk. So thank you so much.
Thanks to you for the invitation. I'm very glad. I would appreciate if you can answer the questionnaire or the participants can answer. And maybe Matthias, I can share the presentation in case you are further sharing it with your users and you want to have a copy. Or if anyone...
yes, I think Daniel has recorded the lecture, and of course he will ask you whether we can share it, and then I think he's going, or he wishes to upload it on YouTube or somewhere.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So then I wish you a nice evening.
Thank you very
enjoy
much.
the end of the year season, and then see you
the same
fresh again in the beginning of next year.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Nice afternoon, nice evening. Bye-bye. Thanks.